Hi, I'm Jen Stevens. I'm the executive editor here at International Living, and I have with me here Kristin Wilson, who is joining us as our lifestyle or overseas lifestyle expert. And so, Kristin, I'm so glad you've joined our IL team. We're excited to have you.
Thank you. I'm so excited to be here.
Yeah, well, I thought we would just have a quick chat and introduce you to all of our members. You have been traveling and living overseas for more than 20 years, and you have helped over 1,000 people relocate to find a new place to live abroad. And so we're excited to have you bring that expertise and those skills to us here. When you started out in Costa Rica, but you've been traveling all over the world really in the last 2 decades. So can you talk us through just sort of what you've been up to, how what motivated you to go abroad to begin with, and share a little bit about how your experience has played out.
Yeah, well, thanks again for having me. It's good to be with you guys. And I think the first thing that my first memory of wanting to go abroad was when I was really old enough to even know what travel was. As soon as I knew that there were other countries and places to explore, I really wanted to do that. And so my goal through high school and college was, I didn't know what I wanted to be when I grew up. I just knew that I wanted to travel, and I wanted it to have something to do with travel. And so that led me to eventually major in international business during college. But my first real living abroad experience was as a study abroad student. So once I experienced what it's like to live in other countries, I was really hooked. And the rest is history. I was 20 years old when I moved to Costa Rica for the first time, and then just kind of never looked back, and one thing led to another, and I had a lot of different jobs, and as I was working, the technology got better that I could actually work from anywhere, and so I really took advantage of that and have been working remotely and traveling for 20 years now.
Wow, that's great. And you have visited and spent really significant time, not just kind of passing through, but you've lived in and spent time in more than 50 different countries. Throughout your travels, you've documented what expat life is like in those places, and you've kind of been a student of what living in lots of different kinds of environments would look like. You are the author of Digital Nomads for Dummies as well. And you've got this kind of vast worldly experience. I'm curious, is there a place that sort of bowled you over, a place that maybe you thought you would like, but you didn't expect it to just be so interesting or such a unique experience?
Yeah, I mean, I think every country has amazing things about it, and every country can surprise you in new ways. You can read guidebooks, you can research places online, but when you actually get there, that's when you really get immersed in that culture, and you get to see what it's like on the ground. So there's so many places. I think everywhere I've ever been, there's things I like, there's things I struggle with. But what comes to mind is, somewhere that I always wanted to go, I think because I'm from Florida, and so I grew up on the beach in a very warm climate in South Florida. So I've always been really fascinated with cold places. I like Canada, I like mountains. I spent one winter in the north of Japan, just surrounded in snow, 20 feet high snowdrifts, and I think that's really fun. Other people from the north might think I'm crazy. So one of the places that really I loved and that really just stuck in my mind is actually the northern part of Norway, which is called the Lofoten Islands. So about 10 years ago, I went to Oslo, and I was looking at the map of Norway, and I was like, what is the most northern part that I can go to? And it is Lofoten in the Arctic Circle. And so right before the pandemic, I spent a month or so living up there, and it was just exactly how I expected it. Just stunningly beautiful mountains, fjords. You can actually just drink the water out of the ground, go for a hike, fill up your water bottle from a melting fjord or from a river or anything. And so that to me was just I felt like I was really in nature, and just lovely people, really good food, and just so peaceful. It really looks like a postcard. It's the water is so still, and yeah, even flying in, it's just beautiful. So that's a place I would definitely love to go back.
Oh, that's great. It's cool. And it's not a place I've been, but it's not a place I think when people are necessarily thinking about retiring, like maybe you not want to live there full time. But there are all these wonderful places around the world that are kind of off the radar, and that's kind of our shtick here at IL. We're always looking for those places that are a little bit not where everyone else is going.
Yeah.
So that fits the bill.
It might not be the most obvious place to go, but it's really safe. Like you can drive up, you can fly up, you can take a boat, you can take a ferry. So you can actually go from a ferry from south to north. And then, once you get up there, it's a great place for road trips and exploring.
That's very
and
cool.
Northern Lights.
Yeah.
I mean,
nice.
I saw the Northern Lights for the first time there, and that also, it's better than you can even expect. Like when you actually see it, it's just jaw-dropping, like mind-blowing, and you can't believe it's real. So it really looks like the pictures of Northern Lights. You're like, wow, what is this?
That's very cool. I mentioned up top that you've helped people focus on where they might be interested in retiring. Can you talk a little bit about how you ended up helping people do that? Like, how did you get into that business to start with?
Yeah, it really came just through personal experience. I had studied what it was like to culturally adapt to different countries when I was studying abroad. I did that semester in Costa Rica, and then I also did a semester in Australia. And I was learning about like culture shock and cultural adaptation as I was experiencing it as a student living in a foreign country. But then when I moved back to Costa Rica in 2005 to work in real estate, I was like not just there for a semester. It was like, okay, this is real life. Like you might be here for a while. And so over the years, as I was adapting to the lifestyle there and then helping international residents invest in property there and retire there, move there for work and all the different reasons that you might decide to move to a different country, we were all coming up against these problems. Like, how do you get your cell phone to work? How do you open a bank account? Where do you go to do XYZ? How do you pay your bills? It was like learning to be an adult again for the first time. And so it does take, a couple years to really know what you're doing there. And so after working in real estate for about 7 or 8 years and helping all of my real estate clients with acclimating to the country, I realized there was a huge need for actual relocation services. So in 2011, I started a relocation company and have been doing that ever since. So just helping people one-on-one and in groups with not just what to do after you get there, but what to do in the months and years, really years, leading up to a move to another country, because it might be something that just starts as a small seed and then it could take 10 years, 3 years, like 1 year. It just depends on
what people's timelines are, what their priorities are.
Like what phase you're in life and how you prepare and working backwards from your arrival date so that once you get to the country, you can actually enjoy living there and not be like all stressed out and worried about what you should be doing.
And even though you started in Costa Rica, as I said, we said up front, you've traveled to so many countries and lived in so many other countries, and now you've kind of developed this expertise in helping people figure out like what place would be a good match for them. So that's why we're excited to have you on board, because obviously we cover the world here, and I think that you've got some really good perspective about places that we already recommend, and maybe some places that aren't even on our radar yet. So I'm excited to have you on the team to do that. While everybody is unique, and there's no one size fits all kind of retirement locale, what would you say makes for a successful expat? Because there are probably some attributes that all people who are really successful living abroad share or have in common. Can you speak to that?
Yeah. Well, I think the first thing is just your own personal desire to want to see the world. It's not for everyone, and not everyone has the dream of living abroad. So if you're one of the people that really appeals to you, that idea and the concept in general, I think you're on the right path. You can just trust yourself that if it's what you want, then it's for you to do. And then once you get there, I think just being very flexible and open-minded, and just accepting that things are going to be different in a lot of different ways, and being really curious about what those differences are. Sometimes those differences can be frustrating, or sometimes they can be confusing, but if you are just able to be resilient and like roll with the punches, and I think even having a good sense of humor about it really helps as well. And and then wanting to meet other people and being like, even if you feel like you're introverted, I think even I would classify myself as introverted, but when you put yourself out there, like out of your comfort zone in different countries, and you're talking with locals and you're meeting other people who are expats as well, then you start to like open up and learn about those people, and having like those social connections is really important as well.
Well, and I think too that there's a certain thread that runs through people who are genuinely interested in going and living in another country. So even if you are introverted and you meet a fellow expat, you kind of automatically have one thing in common at least, right?
Yeah.
You know, you chose to go to that place, and so I think that it's easy. In some ways, it's easier to make friends as an expat, I've found over the years, than it is when you're just at home in a new place, you know?
I think that's what surprises a lot of people. You can be like, well, I've lived in my hometown my whole life, and yet you don't feel like you really, really fit in there. And then all of a sudden you're in a different city, in a different country, and you have like instant group of friends that can just be very surprising at first. But it's because you have all of that in common.
Yeah, I think that's really neat. So I thought that it might be interesting for us to focus on just a few recommendations that you might have. I should say, as perhaps a random aside, you were a professional surfer for a while, and so you have a little bit of an expertise in beaches, right? An affinity, we'll call it, for beaches.
I was born in a town called Vero Beach, so born on the beach.
So even though you spent lots of time, as you said, looking at cooler places even for your own interests, but you do know a lot about beaches and have pretty distinct opinions about them. So I thought I would ask you to bring sort of 5 just interesting different kinds of beaches to us today, and why you like them, and give people some ideas about where they might be interested in spending some time. So can you share some beach recommendations?
Well, I did actually surf in Norway, although I would not say it was my favorite. It took about an hour to get into the wetsuit to be able to go in the water, so I was not that happy. It's beautiful though. But I would probably have to start out with Nosara, Costa Rica, which is where I started my journey of really living abroad full time. And the Nosara American Project, which is basically a development that was started by a developer from the US back in the 70s, and it's now kind of turned into this international community. And I love Nosara because Nosara is a town, but then there's also the beaches of Nosara. So you kind of get like 5 to 1. Like it can be your favorite beach, but Nosara is made up of Playa Guiones, Playa Pilata, Playa Nosara. Then you've got Ostional and Garza on the south and north sides. So you kind of get all these different, like very diverse beaches. You've got Garza, which is like a fishing bay. You've got Guiones, which is great for surfing. Lots of family members. You might go down there and see like people doing yoga, people doing hula hooping, walking their dogs. Like it's a very colorful beach with great sunsets, and it's got like a very community aspect where everyone will go down and watch the sunset at the same time every day and just hang out, play music, and it's like white sand. And then you've got Pilata, which is like more of a cove, and then you've got Ostional Wildlife Refuge, where you can see sea turtles hatching at different times of the year. So I would say that's one of my picks for like ecotourism and also an international community.
Great. Okay, so number 1, Costa Rica, Nosara.
Yeah.
What about number 2?
Okay, let's stay we won't put these in exact order. And I haven't been to every beach in the world, but these are some of the ones I like. Like going up the coast a little bit, we can go into Mexico, which I think like no beaches list would be complete without a beach in Mexico. There's amazing beaches throughout the country, but I would say like one of my favorites is Playa del Carmen, because it's so close to the Cancun International Airport, so it's really easy to get to. You don't have to fly into Mexico City. Like you can often just fly direct to Cancun and just take like a 30-minute drive and you're there, and you've got crystal clear blue water, white sand, no real surfing there, so like very gentle waves for swimming, and very convenient. You can just go there, like get a hotel or a house on the beach. You can walk around everywhere. You don't need a car, and it's a good jumping off point for exploring other parts of the Riviera Maya.
Yeah, that's lovely. Okay, so
Yeah.
we've got one in Costa Rica, one in Mexico. Where next? Where's beach number 3?
We could go over to Europe.
Okay.
And for all of you foodies out there, wine and food destination, one of my favorite beaches is Biarritz in France. And just for no other reason that it's like just a very beautiful beach, great food. You could also surf there as well, but just such a quaint town. And you can also explore other parts of France. You can just take a day road trip and go into Spain. San Sebastian area, you can go into the Bordeaux wine region, and so it's kind of like a beach that's also connected to all of these different historical places, and very, very beautiful.
Great. All right. And that gives us 3. You have another one?
Well, another one that I love that's in the Mediterranean is on Cyprus.
Nice.
And it's called Fig Tree Bay, and it is another beach that just looks like a postcard. You've got white sand, crystal clear blue water. Lots of people speak English there, so it's a very tourism-friendly economy, and it's very relaxing. Like, that's a beach that you want to go to just relax. You know, you could do some water sports as well, but just really get your like rest and relaxation. And then if you want to find like a more secluded place, you can just walk around the corner, and there's lots of these waterfront villas and like little areas to go snorkeling and things. And then when you're hungry, just walk up and you've got lots of cafes, juice bars, coffee, things like that, just all along the beach. And it's just really nice. A great place for kayaking, stand-up paddleboarding as well.
Nice. Okay. And you have one more for us?
Yes, we'll go down under. We'll
right.
go down under to Australia. And one of my favorite beaches there is Byron Bay. And this is in New South Wales, and it's known for just like a very healthy lifestyle, a very community-based feel, also very international, but you've got like lots of locals there, and very just expansive beaches, beautiful views, nice surfing waves, nice family beach. You'll often go down and just see like families hanging out on the beach all day. You've got the lighthouse. It's a great place to do road trips, either down camping through New South Wales, or you can go up onto the Gold Coast into the Sunshine Coast. Really healthy food. I swear it's like one of the homes of avocado toast. And yeah, juice bars. So if you want like a healthy lifestyle and not too crowded, not so developed like some of the other parts of Australia. So that's a nice one.
Great. Well, this is great. That was a very diverse collection of beaches, so thank you for sharing that. We are over in Ireland right now together here at our International Living offices, but you're going to spend the next few months on this side of the pond, right? Where are you based right now, out of curiosity?
Yeah, well, currently I'm based in the UK, which is not maybe the most exotic place around the world, but I really love the European lifestyle. I've been to almost every country in Europe, and before the pandemic, I was based, like living around Europe for a few years, spending time in all different corners, northern, western, eastern, Balkans. And yeah, I just really enjoy living over here. I like the time zone for working, and you can kind of like get all of your work done before the US wakes up and Canada wakes up. And yeah, so we'll see. I have some family in London, so I'll get to go and visit them. And I really want to explore Scotland and like northern England, because that's where my ancestors are from. I did a DNA test, so Ireland, Scotland, northern England, and so that's a place that I haven't really explored yet. Like, I've been to London a few times, but I haven't really gotten out, and spring and summer is a great time to be here because the weather's nice. I want to do a lot of hiking and some road trips. So yeah, we'll see.
We look forward to hearing about it in the pages of International Living as
I'll
well.
share.
So that's great. That's super. All right. Well, thank you so much for sitting down with me today. I look forward to having more conversations like this in the months and years to come. we're excited to have you on our team.
Thanks. It's great to be here and meet you.
Yeah, lovely. So, as I mentioned, Kristin has come on board to be our new overseas lifestyle expert, and she'll be contributing to our daily e-letter and the monthly magazine, and you can see her videos on YouTube at Traveling with Kristin. We'll put links to all these things down below. And Kristin, thanks again for joining me.
Thanks for having me.
Yeah, and I'm Jen Stevens for International Living. I'll see you next time.